Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a story that really challenges one of the oldest assumptions in education.
hmm
The idea that how smart you are, how much you know, is all measured by how fast and how well you can read and write.
Right, and we're going to show you how, for a huge part of the population, that system is just a massive, unnecessary hurdle.
We're diving into the personal account of Davis Graham to see how technology has just completely transformed the experience of severe dyslexia.
And our mission here is to show you how things like, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, and now AI are building a whole new model.
A model that basically makes the old way of doing things obsolete.
Exactly. There's that great Buckminster Fuller quote Graham brings up.
Oh, right. You never change things by fighting the existing reality.
To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening here.
So let's talk about the numbers because they are just staggering.
They really are. Think about this. His unaided reading speed was a painful 69 words per minute.
69, you can't function academically with that.
You can't. It's paralyzing.
Yeah.
But with technology, his knowledge consumption rate, not reading rate, consumption rate, jumps to between 300 and 500 words per minute.
And the comprehension.
That's the key, 98% comprehension. So this isn't just a little help. It's a total change in his cognitive bandwidth. It unlocked a mind that was trapped.
Okay, let's unpack that journey because the early years sound brutal. He was diagnosed pretty early, right? Back in the 60s?
Yeah, 1967 at the University of Miami. But, back then, understanding was so limited. He says he just carried this constant sting of failure.
And what did that failure do to him as a kid?
The emotional toll was just immense. It led to this crisis of self-worth. He says his life was basically fueled by low self-esteem, which forced him to develop these really aggressive coping skills.
Defensive skills.
Exactly. If you feel like you're stupid, you have to find ways to hide it.
Yeah.
So he became the class clown, but it also meant, cheating.
And the sources get into some pretty desperate examples of that.
Oh, yeah. Like hiding a spelling test answer key under his watch, or getting a D in a history class just because the teacher felt sorry for him.
Wow.
But eventually that pressure just boiled over. He was expelled in 7th grade for stealing $5.
$5. That just shows how desperate he was.
It really does.
And he has this powerful analogy for the internal struggle. He calls it the woodpeckers on the inside. What does he mean by that?
It's about internal sabotage. The idea is that the external stuff teachers, tests, parents, that's like a leaky roof. Annoying, but manageable.
Okay.
But the real damage, the thing that sinks the ship, is the internal frustration, the disappointment in yourself. Those are the woodpeckers inside the ark, pecking away at the hull. That's what really brings you down.
And that internal turmoil just got worse as he hit the big academic hurdles, like the SAT.
Right. He takes it, scores a 650. Very low. But this is where you can see the system just failing to measure his actual intelligence.
Because he took it again.
He took it a second time, and the only difference was he got accommodations, he was untimed, and he had a human reader.
And the score?
Jumps to 800. A 150-point increase just from removing the decoding barrier.
So what did his guidance counselor say to that? That's clear proof of ability.
You'd think so, but the counselor looked him in the eye and said, "You will never make it in college." Just devastating.
The system just couldn't see past its own methods.
It refused to, and that sent him down a path of despair that nearly ended everything. He talks about some really dark times, failing at 2 different universities, even contemplating suicide.
And it all came to a head in 1983.
Yeah, the lowest point. He gets 2 academic dismissal letters at the same time, one from USF and one his mom had been holding on to from Sewanee. He said it just felt like a complete dead end in life.
A dead end, but not the end. He talks about these 3 angelic moments that pulled him back.
He does. The first was, of all people, Sally Jesse Raphael on her radio show. He called in, desperate, and she used this great analogy from his track days.
The 880-yard dash.
Exactly. She told him education was just like that race. He just had to dig deep for that last lap kick.
Such a simple metaphor, but at the right time. What was the second intervention?
An unexpected meeting with his brother-in-law, who was a psychologist. And it turned out he was dyslexic too.
Wow.
It was the first time Graham had ever talked to someone who truly got it, who had lived it. And he said for the first time, he felt not alone.
And the third, at his absolute lowest point, was just seeing a man named Dale out for a run.
Yeah, he's just received the dismissal letters. He's pulled over, just completely defeated. And he sees Dale, a man who'd recovered from a severe brain tumor out running. He saw it as a sign from God. If I took care of him, I will take care of you.
Yeah.
That was the signal he needed to keep going.
So his spirit was repaired, but the practical academic fix didn't come until years later, and it was all about technology.
Entirely. This
Yeah.
was in 2001. He's working as a CFO, and he's staring at this 30-page, six-figure film contract he has to sign.
A professional wall, not an academic one.
A huge one. He knew it would take him hours to read it, and he couldn't risk missing anything. So what does he do?
He goes to Google.
He goes to Google and types in text reading software. He was looking for a survival tool, and he finds this free program called Read Please.
And this free download changes everything.
Instantly, he pastes the contract in, and the software reads the whole thing to him in about an hour. He went from that struggling 69 words per minute to a functional 300 to 500. That was the moment he knew.
The barrier wasn't his brain, it was the printed word.
Exactly. From there, he tapped into this whole ecosystem of accessibility. The key was bookshare.org.
The world's biggest digital library for people with print disabilities.
Right, something like 1.4 million books. But to get access, he needed official proof of his disability, which led to this incredible Walmart moment, as he calls it.
Tell us about that.
So it's 2007, and he calls USF, the same university that kicked him out. And somehow, he gets connected with a Dr. David Owens. Miraculously, Owens still has his file from 1985 and signs the form he needs.
The same institution that rejected him gives him the key to every book in the world.
It's an incredible irony. He said it felt like a manager at a store just telling him, anything you need in here, it's yours. And that access gave him the confidence to go back to school.
For a master's degree at Brandeis University, how was it different this time around?
A complete 180. He fully embraced the accommodations. Accessible textbooks, time and a half on exams, note takers. He trusted the system.
And the result?
He graduated with honors and was the only Student Marshall nominee in 2016.
That's amazing. So his success proves the model. What does that mean for the education system as a whole?
It means the system is archaic. It's built on a foundation that's scientifically flawed. He quotes neuroscientists like John Gabrielli from MIT.
What's the core point they make?
That the human brain did not evolve to read. It's an evolutionary newness. He says forcing everyone to learn that way is like using a stapler to pound a nail.
It's the wrong tool for the job for so many people.
Exactly. So if technology gives us an alternative pathway that uses the brain's natural methods, listening and speaking, we should be using it.
And those natural methods are just so much faster.
So much faster. You can listen and comprehend at 600 words per minute, maybe even higher. And we all speak about 3 times faster than we can type. When you remove the decoding hurdle, you unlock everyone's most efficient learning rate.
Which brings us to the big policy idea, Universal Design for Learning, or UDL.
Right. This shouldn't just be for people who can afford testing to get a qualified disability. It should be for everyone.
Because the current system is creating a huge economic problem.
A massive one. He brings in Thomas Friedman's idea that America treats education like a social issue, not an economic one. And you see the costs everywhere.
What do the stats say?
They're devastating. Half of adults in the U.S. read below an 8th grade level. And get this, 85% of juvenile offenders have reading problems. We are warehousing talent because of an outdated delivery system.
Okay, so let's shift from fixing a problem to unleashing a strength. He talks about how this frees up what some now call dyslexic thinking.
Yes, or orthogonal thinking. It's this idea that the dyslexic mind processes things multidimensionally, often in images, not text. And that's incredibly fast. We're talking 1,500 to 4,000 images per second.
They're pattern recognition machines.
Masters of it. And that kind of thinking, connecting disparate ideas, is a superpower in the real world.
He's a great example of this from his career in healthcare.
He does. He's at a conference, looking at his phone, getting all these notifications for calls and messages. And he has this flash of insight. Why can't doctors get immediate, critical notifications for their patients' radiology reports, just like he gets a notification for a text message?
He connected 2 completely separate worlds.
Totally separate. And that orthogonal leap led him to design the first mobile Apple app for critical radiology reports. It's what happens when the brain is unleashed from the bottleneck of text.
And now, of course, we have AI. How is that taking assistive tech to the next level?
AI is the ultimate tool. Think about note-taking. It's a huge struggle for dyslexics. You have to listen, process, and write all at once.
It's a massive cognitive load.
It is. But now you can just record a lecture, feed the transcript into an AI like ChatGPT and say, give me detailed study notes, a quiz, and an answer key.
It turns a struggle into a personalized learning tool.
Perfectly said. It's about mastery, not transcription.
Yeah.
And you can feel the emotional impact of that. The technology erases that internal red pen, that constant fear of being wrong,
It moves you from what he called pseudo-competence
which is faking it, just harvesting info from others to seem smart.
to genuine expertise, because now your brain is actually filled with the knowledge.
Exactly. The journey is complete, from dismissal letters to an honors degree, all because technology leveled an old, unnecessary playing field.
So bringing this all home, what's the final lesson for the future of education?
The goal of education doesn't have to change, but the delivery system has to. We are, as he says, in a technical dream world come true. The old barriers don't have to exist anymore.
Before we go, let's touch on the science one last time. There's one big piece of research he's still fighting for. What's the question that needs to be answered?
It's all about brain imaging. We have fMRI studies that show less gray matter activity when dyslexics try to read, but that's a consequence of the struggle, not the cause.
Right.
The big question he wants answered is, what happens in the dyslexic brain when they are listening and reading along with text-to-speech at the same time, when that powerful auditory network is fully engaged?
What new evidence of neuroplasticity might we find?
Exactly. We have the real-world proof, the Brandeis degree. But the next step is getting that neurological proof that shows this model can work for everyone. We just have to wait patiently for that knowledge.
That is a powerful place to end. The technology is here, the results are clear, and maybe the science will soon prove that the hardest part of learning was never the knowledge itself, but just decoding the words on a page. Thank you for walking us through this.
My pleasure. We hope this gives you a whole new perspective to think about.